also points out that those memories could have been planted, because it doesn't really remember them. Guraithan insists it's defective and dangerous to have around, so Murderbot agrees and leaves. The crew discusses the mysterious enemy and wonders what they want. Ratti points out that maybe they're looking for the alien remnants that Mensa saw the other day. It's illegal to mine those things, so the team concludes that the other crew caught the Grey Chris group red-handed and they were silenced. Moments later, Ratti tells Pin Lee and Arada that he wants to end their arrangement because he thinks he's being dishonest since he only likes Pin Lee. Arada is hurt that it's not her, which hurts Pin Lee in return. Ratti explains he wanted to clarify all this because they'll probably die soon. Meanwhile, Murderbot wanders around while watching its shows. It realizes that since it has free will now, it doesn't have to obey its clients, it can just write its own story. It returns to the habitat and announces it has a plan. Moments later, Murderbot, Mensa, Pin Lee, and Guraithan are flying on the aircraft. Mensa asks Murderbot to calculate their chances of survival and it says they're extremely low. Murderbot leaves the ship to meet with the Grey Chris bots while the trio at the habitat scans the area for potential dangers. The plan is for Pin Lee and Guraithan to set up a drone that can hack into the enemy's system and activate their beacon. However, Murderbot has lied about its plan and has a secret idea that it took from its favorite TV show. When it finally meets the Grey Chris crew, none of them responds to his pings. These bots try to hack into Murderbot's module, but since it's already disabled it, they have no power over it. Murderbot calls them out, guessing they wanted to put the device on it again to make it kill its team. It admits it's a rogue bot and says it hates its own crew, so it killed one of the members. All this is a trick to gain the enemy's trust, and to prove the story, Murderbot presents the head of the SEC unit they defeated earlier, pretending it's Guraithan's face. Now Mensa and the others think it's betraying them. Since good robots don't ever show their faces, the Grey Chris team doesn't know their own SEC units and believes the story. Murderbot offers to help the enemy capture its own crew in exchange for them to take it off the planet. The Grey Chris crew agrees, but they'll have to list Murderbot as destroyed to smuggle it out. Then Murderbot asks Bardwaj to lower the firewall in their system. She's hesitant but has no choice but to follow the plan, and the drone comes out. While the drone secretly hacks into the beacon, the Grey Chris group confirms they've officially listed Murderbot as destroyed, so now they want to catch the others. Murderbot tells them that its crew is going to the beacon to steal it and agrees to take the Grey Chris team there. Guraithan finally understands the plan. When they activate the beacon from afar, it'll kill all the enemies and even Murderbot. It's murder, yes, but murder in self-defense. This is what Murderbot has been saying all along, and Guraithan admits it's their only option. While the group flies to the beacon, Pin Lee sends the drone after them. Unfortunately, a bird flies by and brings it down, so now the team has lost access to the beacon. Guraithan and Pin Lee have to rush to the enemy's habitat to hack directly into their computers. A guard finds Guraithan while he's in the process of setting up the system, but Pin Lee immediately brings the guy down. Now the beacon is active and will take off in a few minutes. Since Mensa has lost contact with everyone, she takes off in the ship. Murderbot has to buy time, so it tries to make conversation with the enemy and even drops to the ground pretending it saw something dangerous. It doesn't work and the leader announces they're leaving because nobody is showing up. At that moment, Mensa arrives and pretends she's been looking for alien remnants. She admits she's found some and offers to give them to Grey Chris in exchange for Murderbot. The enemy leader says she'd rather torture her to get the information from her, so Murderbot asks her to let it to it. It quotes his favorite show to sound convincing and a worker finally realizes it's been repeating stuff from TV. Caught red-handed, Murderbot has no choice but to fight. Mensa runs to hide while Murderbot takes a human hostage to use him as a shield, since normal SEC units aren't allowed to hurt people. Unfortunately, another Grey Chris human accidentally shoots her gun and kills the guy, so now the enemy bots can open fire again. While Murderbot starts fighting the robots, the girl tries to escape on the ship and her leader kills her. The black SEC units are quite powerful and Murderbot is having trouble defending itself, so it hacks into the enemy's system and sends all its show files, flooding its mind until it explodes. Suddenly the beacon starts to launch, so everyone runs to safety. Murderbot grabs Mensa and they jump off the cliff to escape while their enemies are burned down. To save her, Murderbot makes sure to land first and act as her cushion. The rest of the team comes back for them and notices that Murderbot is shutting down. Sometime later, Murderbot wakes up on a table where two engineers are watching it. They tell it not to worry about its crew and start a memory wipe to install a new governor module. After spitting on Murderbot's head, they test it by giving it a few orders, confirming it's obedient again. Now it'll be sent on a new mission. Meanwhile, the crew is talking to the higher-ups. They want Murderbot back, and if they don't get it, they'll tell the world about what happened during the mission. They're even willing to pay for it. The higher-ups know that Murderbot had gone rogue, and if the team knew this but didn't report it, they're part of the illegal activities too. The crew is devastated to hear that Murderbot's memories are getting wiped anyway. In the lobby, Ratti sees Murderbot marching with other guards and tries to approach it, but Murderbot threatens to shoot if he doesn't step back. Ratti goes back to his group and tells them what happened. Mensa thinks Murderbot's personality could be hiding under the reprogramming, and Gyuraithan explains that the company keeps any data that has monetary value, so there's a chance a useful part of Murderbot is being kept somewhere. They just need a plan. Outside the building, the police are trying to stop a protest. People are on strike because they're demanding better pay, equal rights, and food for their families. The guards bring out a team of SEC units including Murderbot and order them to beat up the crowd. Humans start getting hurt and even bleed all over the place as the robots ruthlessly fight them. Seeing all this brings back the memories of the miners' deaths, and Murderbot gets ready to shoot. However, it feels confused and freezes. The crowd uses the chance to start hitting it, hoping to destroy it. In the meantime, Gyuraithan goes to see his old dealer, who is now a father. The guy regrets his actions, so he agrees to take Gyuraithan to the computer room since he has high clearance. Gyuraithan accesses the company's system and discovers it's all encrypted, so he checks the TV shows instead. By following the track of the last person who downloaded the show, he finds Murderbot's memories and downloads them into his own mind. Meanwhile, Mensa and Bardwaj talk to the press and tell them what happened on the planet, including the fact that they were saved by a SEC unit. This helps bring down the company's reputation and accelerate the current investigation. After retrieving Murderbot's body from the protest, the guards take it to the melting room. Since Murderbot is malfunctioning, it must be destroyed. They put it inside a cage and move it above the oven. However, before they can lower it, Ratty and Pin Lee burst into the room, and Pin Lee reveals they have a court order to protect this unit. Minutes later, Murderbot is in a room with the crew but doesn't recognize any of them. Thankfully, Gyuraithan soon arrives and throws up before proceeding with the plan. He plugs his mind to Murderbot's and transfers all the memories. In just a second, Murderbot is back to being itself and asks about the TV episode missing in its database. It doesn't know what happened between its death and now, so Mensa explains she's now its guardian. It can live with them on the Preservation Alliance and doesn't need its armor anymore. It can use normal clothes and learn whatever it wants. During the rest of the day, companies show up to buy Murderbot and the lawsuit, but Mensa always turns them down. That night they celebrate with a lovely dinner and toast to Murderbot's new life, but it doesn't understand the meaning of any of it. That night, while everyone sleeps, Murderbot leaves the room. Gyuraithan sees it and asks what it's doing, so Murderbot tells him it's going to check the perimeter. Gyuraithan insists it's not necessary anymore, but Murderbot doesn't listen. When Gyuraithan realizes the robot is leaving them, he cries but lets it go. Afterward, Murderbot wanders through Port Free Commerce. It notices the next departure is a bot-driven transport ship going to a mining facility. It steals a bag from some sleeping travelers and puts on a mining uniform to sneak into that ship. Mensa watches from the window and cries while in the aircraft. Murderbot smiles for the first time. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.